Good morning, children. This is Module 3, continuation of the second chapter, that is some basic concepts of macroeconomics, and the topic is circular flow of national income. There are four sectors in an economy: the household sector, the producing sector, the government sector, and rest of the world sector. The household sector provides factor services to the producing sector. The producing sector produces goods and services for the household sector. The government sector is a welfare agency whose main task is to generate revenue through tax and non-tax sources and to make an expenditure for the social welfare in the economy. Rest of the world sector, also known as the external sector, indulges in exports and imports. In circular flow of income, we need to acquaint ourselves with two flows: real flow and money flow. Real flow refers to the flow of goods and services across different sectors of the economy. Now, example of real flow is flow of factor services of land, labor, capital, and organization from the household sector to the producing sector, and flow of goods from the producing sector to the household sector. But when we talk about money flow is also known as nominal flow. It only involves the transactions of money that take place between the different sectors. For example, flow of factor payments from the producing sector to the household sector, and payment for goods and services from the household sector to the business sector. Real flow and money flow, they are both two sides of the same coin. Now, this is a circular flow of income in a two-sector economy wherein we are considering only two sectors: the households or the consumers, or the producers or the business class or the firms who are producing goods and services. Now, in this circular flow, we are supposed to explain both the flows, that is the monetary flow and the real flow. Now, the top circular line is the real flow, which shows flow of factor services from the household sector to the business firms. Now, with the help of those factor services, the business firms, they are producing goods and services. Hence, goods and services are flowing from the business sector to the household sector. Now, for the factor services which have been received by the business firms, they are supposed to make a payment. And the goods and services which have been received by the household sector, they are supposed to make a payment to the business firms. So when we talk about the monetary flow, which is the lower circular line, so as we can see that business firms, they are making a payment to the household for the factor services received, and the household sector is making a payment to the business sector for the various goods and services it has received. So hence, business sector makes a payment to the household sector, which is known as factor payments. The household sector makes a payment to the business sector, which is known as payment for goods and services. The circular flow model is based on a few assumptions. The first assumption is that we assume there are only two sectors in the economy, that is the household sector and the producing sector. The second most important assumption is the households spend the entire income and there are no savings. Now, what does it mean? The income so received by the household sector from the business sector is spent in buying goods and services, and they do not save. And the third assumption is that the domestic economy is a closed economy with no government intervention, and the external sector does not exist, that is, there are no exports or imports. There are three phases of the circular flow of income: the production phase, income phase, and the expenditure phase, which means the production phase gives rise to the income phase, the income phase gives rise to the expenditure phase, which in turn gives rise to the production phase. Means goods and services are produced with the help of the four factors of production, and the producing class has to make a payment to the four factors of production, which leads to the generation of income. Now, the income so generated by the household sector is spent in buying goods and services, which leads to expenditure. So the expenditure made on the goods and services further leads to production. Hence, we say there are three methods of measuring national income. The first method is the production method. The second is the income method, and the third is the expenditure method. And the results so generated by the production method are always equal to the results generated by the income method, and the results by the income method are always equal to the expenditure method. We'll be talking about the phases or stages of circular flow. As already discussed, production leads to income, income leads to expenditure, which further leads to production. So we say production, consumption, expenditure, and generation of income. They are the three basic economic activities of an economy which go on endlessly and are titled as the circular flow of income. And the last topic is leakages and injections. Our main aim is that circular flow of income should be in equilibrium. Circular flow of income can only be in equilibrium when leakages are matched by injections. Now the question is, what are leakages and what are injections? Injections cause the circular flow of income to rise. That is, when the circular flow of income expands. But when does it expand? When the level of production, income and expenditure rises, which implies injections in the circular flow. Now, on the contrary, contraction implies leakages from the circular flow. Now, what are leakages? Leakages means when the level of production, income and expenditure, they all fall. Neither injections are too good for an economy, nor leakages are too good for an economy. So for an economy to be in equilibrium, or for the circular flow of income to be in equilibrium, leakages should be equal to injections. Thank you.